Honorable Assistant Minister for Youth and Sports, PS Youth and Sports, Executive Chairman of the Fijian National Sports Commission, board members of the Fiji National Sports Commission, leaders and representatives of the respective community sports association, participants, ladies, gentlemen, brothers and sisters, Bula Vinaka, and a very good morning to you all. Thank you for the kind words of welcome this morning. And to return the favor, it is my pleasure to welcome all of you to this first Community Sports Association conference. From the faces in front of me, this is truly a gathering of a great sports family that we have here in Fiji. It is so good to see all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I must acknowledge you all for your efforts to be here this morning as we get ready to participate in yet another constructive round of discussions and resolutions towards greater heights for community sports and physical activities in communities around Fiji. This year's annual conference is themed around 10 years of achievements and success for the Commission. Congratulations to the Commission, its executive, and the stakeholders for these decade-long years of achievements. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure this conference will lead to even greater achievements and heights for Commission and for sports in Fiji. Sports in Fiji has truly benefited from your work and initiatives. In sports, among the different levels from elite to national to youth age group, and school, community sports have a special place for all of us. Having the formal association set up is truly a prime example of the work of the Sports Development Unit in recognizing community sports and elevating it beyond the background of sports in general. When we really think about it, community sports are the true level playing field for sports people of all backgrounds, age, and abilities to compete and share experience that last a lifetime. Given this wider context, I thank all the stakeholders for building a strong foundation in community sports. Thank you for your hard work and for taking on the challenge to improve sports and physical activities in Fiji and embedding the sports foundation in community sports. Ladies and gentlemen, this conference and the work of the Commission will now need to address the new normal of a pandemic and post-pandemic sporting world. We do not need to fear this new normal as you continue to come out of the COVID-19 pandemic. We as a nation and as part of a global effort are finding ways and means to have better control over the pandemic. This does not mean that we can relax and lower our guards against COVID. Doing that may see us getting the full force of COVID-19 uppercut. We must keep our guards up and continue in efforts to vaccinate and keep to safe health protocols. This is not as bad as it may sound, as it also means we have a healthier environment for sports and for all of us. We have already demonstrated that Fijians are able to operate within this new normal. And our sports organization has shown the way in enabling most of our competitions and developments work to be back on the pre-pandemic planes. During the pandemic, and as we look for the pathways out of it, community sports has enabled us to grow resilience with healthy bodies and mind. Ladies and gentlemen, I must congratulate and commend all Fijians for making this period one of a unified sporting and movement to come together in our sporting communities and to strive to find activities for ourselves and each other as a healthier alternative to facing the stress of pandemic without an outlet as we did in community sports. Ladies and gentlemen, over the years, since its inception, the Sports Development Unit has proven to be a benchmark in creating dialogue between the Ministry, Fiji National Sports Commission, and sports leaders on issues relating to sports development and face the challenges and other factors which often have an impact on the implementation of sports program. The conference will give us all an opportunity to deliberate on what is lacking, what can be improved, and what can be done to take sport forward with the support and contributions of all stakeholders in your communities. While we emphasize community sports, for its inclusive nature for all ages and levels, it is also the foundation for a stepping stone for those with the drive and talent to excel at the elite levels. And this has been demonstrated in the current crop of national stars in rugby sevens, soccer, or those playing in overseas. As a unit, we would like to make our focus needs-based rather than a fancy wish list of wants by our communities. We must ensure our programs are viable and sustainable and within the means of our budget and future projections. And above all, we want to retain and strengthen the focus on community sports and to grow this hand in hand with these communities. Their views and ideas are important as those that we will share at this convention. And as Master of Ceremony has said, local knows their locality best, and they know best what their needs are and areas in which they can best participate in sports. And that our partnerships lead to sustainable outcomes and outputs for all. We must innovate in this respect and come up with programs and packages that show we have done our groundwork, that we have consulted with local communities, and that we have viable game plan to roll out in community sports. Ladies and gentlemen, let me state that today is an important deliberation for all of us. I have been advised that before convening today, you all have identified within your own scoping work a viable action plan. And this comes with strong justification on the needs and projections for sports development required in your communities. We must strive to make this program resilient and open to all Fijians so that we can look forward to a sustainable community sports association for many years to come. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ministry of Youth and Sport is ready to render assistance to the great work you have been doing through those youth clubs that partner within your community sports association. However, as a responsible and accountable government partner, it becomes your duty as well to provide viable and concrete details of your improvements within your sport. Evidence-based and not based on your self-assessment without the necessary documentation or evidence to back what you are claiming. Ladies and gentlemen, Community Sports Association is a social change agent with immense impact and has a great flow on benefits for all aspects of society. This includes protections from NCDs and channeling the energies into healthy nation building. One has proactive and positive citizens. Community sports in promoting sports and physical activities in Fiji will always be geared towards promoting and delivering holistic sports development programs that are inclusive of all despite gender, human rights, physical or racial background. We want to create an environment where people feel welcome and free to participate in any sporting activities, for them to stay fit and healthy, and at the same time have pathways for talents to be recognized and for the elevation to their required levels. Ladies and gentlemen, in congratulating the Commission and the stakeholders for their 10 years of achievement, I believe there is much more work that needs to be done. We can always do more, and we can always do better. We cannot rest on our achievements. Fiji's true sporting potential requires that we continue to strive for excellence. Let's work smart. Let's work harder. Let's work together and fly Fiji's sporting flag higher than ever before. Let's work together and aim high to deliver the best possible for community sports in Fiji and for sports in Fiji. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, with those few words, I wish you all the best. And now I have much pleasure in declaring Day 1 of the Community Sports Association Conference open. Vinaka and thank you.
Naka